Welcome back to another Civilization 6 AI experiment. So this time I made a map just for this video. And I spent a while doing it, because this was originally a Pangea map. However, I divided it into small land areas separated by mountains. None of them are bigger than 7 tiles. It ranges from 4 to 7 tiles. And while this might look kind of unplayable, the plan is to have all Inca AIs in it. And that's what we got. We got 7 or 8 Inca AIs, and a few city-states. We'll see how they will handle it. Mind you, while this might seem unplayable initially, once they get enough tunnels up and running, they will be able to instantly teleport from one end of the map to another, because all these mountains are connected. So I'm quite curious how exactly the AI will handle this. So let's get started. I'll be running autoplay. We'll see which AI manages to expand the fastest. Probably the ones on the coast. Maybe, because they will be able to embark and just send settlers to other coastal areas, if they are smart enough to do that. But hey, we'll see. Also, keep in mind, AI can use other AI's tunnels. Any player can use any other player's tunnels. So that might get quite interesting later on. Okay, I can already see they are a little bit confused, because they are spamming way more units than usual. At least that seems to be the case. Yeah, AI usually does not recruit this many warriors early on. I think they are confused because of how little space they got. Yeah, they barely have enough space for all the units here. That's pretty funny. What about the one in here? Yeah, this guy doesn't have access to the coast, so it cannot embark. Look at all the scouts it recruited. That's a lot of scouts. I think he's really confused about life right now. Is he building any tunnels? I can't actually see the tunnels right now. Okay. They can get them very early. It only requires like the second policy you can research in the game. Okay, that's a lot of units now. This guy seems to be doing the best at the moment. He can also use this lake to expand even further. Okay, here's a new city. That was not a tunnel. He just embarked, I think. Well then, alright. I mean, all they need is one civic and a builder to get tunnels up and running. That's it, that's all they need. But it doesn't look like they're prioritizing it. Yeah, this guy did build some tunnels, I just can't see them for whatever reason. Because he wouldn't be able to move here otherwise. This guy is the slowest. He didn't even start his second city yet. But the settler can start a city. I think he doesn't consider this area to be good enough for a city. Because this settler is just standing there. He's not actually doing anything. And he can definitely start a city here. This is 4 tiles away from Machu. So, okay. Yep, he still didn't start his second city. Neither did this guy. He's just spamming units. Does he even have a settler anywhere in here? Yep, he does have a settler. But he didn't build any tunnels. Well, no, he did build tunnels. Because the units wouldn't be able to get out here otherwise. Unless they are just overflowing. I'm not actually quite sure what's happening in here. I'm going to switch myself to one of them. Okay, I switched myself to AI number 1, and there are definitely some tunnels up already. Yeah, now I can see them, but I can't see tunnels built by other players. I would have to switch myself to another player. Yeah, here's the guy with only one city. He did build some tunnels. I see exactly one. In the worst location possible. This is literally a completely useless tunnel. I mean, it's not completely useless because he can use it to exit out of the other tunnel. But it would be way better to build it here. That way he could actually access another area. How did these guys get in here? Is this actually like unit overflow? That seems to be the case. Because there's no tunnel, it's not possible to actually get in here. This seems to be unit overflow. I didn't even know this can happen. in a situation like this. So I found something new. Okay, back to autoplay. Yeah, now I can see some more tunnels. Here's a tunnel, there's another one. And in here, okay, I can see all of them now, good. Some of them are a little bit silly, but it is what it is. That's Civ 6 AI for you. Who's doing the best job so far? Probably this guy. Yeah, it's going to be the ones who started on the coast, because they can actually embark and expand that way. Yep. Oh hey, he finally started a city with that settler. He was just standing there for I don't know how many turns. He's about to lose some units to a disaster. Or maybe not. Are there any wars going on? This might get interesting later on, once there are a lot more tunnels up and running. Because they will literally be able to teleport their units halfway across the map. Tunnels are a little bit weird like that. There should really be like a limit of how far you can go through a tunnel. You shouldn't be able to just cross half the map. That's silly. Oh wait, is there a war going on? There's an encampment here. It's not very useful, but good for him. It is fairly quiet so far. Doesn't look like anyone is at war with anyone else. But that's a lot of units. This seems to be more units than usual. Maybe they aren't building as many districts because there's not a lot of space for that. That's a possibility. Nice traders, bro. What are you planning to do with them? They are just standing there. Did he not build any tunnels? No, he did not. These units are just overflowing. He didn't build a single tunnel around here. Even though there's literally a builder standing right here. And he did not build a tunnel. So AI is not very good at handling this kind of situation. Which isn't exactly unexpected. Like, this guy wouldn't even be able to start the second city if it wasn't for the overflow mechanic that made the units spawn in here. Because there's no tunnel leading into this area. He just got a unit overflow in there. That's a lot of low health quadriremes. Alright. Yeah, so far, 3 AIs are basically stuck, unable to expand. Which is interesting to see. I mean, this guy was coastal. So I didn't think he will have any major problems. But apparently he did. Other coastal Incas are doing fine though. Yeah, now there are way more tunnels. Like, this guy built at least 7 or 8, as far as I can tell. Some of them are literally right next to each other. But these two actually kind of make sense. So that is fine. Most of them kind of make sense. But that's probably by accident. I mean, most of the tunnels you would place anywhere would kind of make sense, with a few exceptions. That is quite a few cities now. Okay, yeah, this guy is expanding way more rapidly. He doesn't seem to be at war with anyone. I'm actually surprised he didn't declare war on this guy, with only one single city. I want to see them fight each other because I want to see how exactly the AI will handle that. Yeah, the Green Inca expanded simply by embarking the settlers, as I predicted. I was actually considering blocking off the coast with mountains, but I decided not to. Yeah, the Dark Green Inca is up to like 9 or 10 cities by now. How's the science output? Yeah, that's a huge range of science output. Also, it's kind of hard to tell which Inca is which. I like how this guy has 4000 gold and this guy has literally 7 gold. They are spending it, probably to buy units. AI really loves to buy units for their gold, as one of my other videos showed. These two still haven't expanded. They literally didn't even start a second city. They just got a settler standing there confused. I wonder why some of them got stuck but others didn't. I mean, not all of them were coastal. But you know, all things considered, AI is doing better than I expected it to. That's not to say it's handling it well, but it's handling it better than I expected it to. I expected this to be a complete disaster, and AI just being stuck, like these two guys are. But some of them are handling it quite well. Doesn't seem like they are fighting each other yet. I expect a coastal war before anything else. Like, this is a lot of units. He already has field cannons. Okay. I unfortunately cannot see the tech count. Okay, so here's the guy who failed to expand completely. He doesn't seem to have any tunnels. He has a lot of units. And he's losing gold because he only has one city, but he recruited so many units. And this is definitely unit overflow because there's no tunnel leading into this area. Let's check the ranking. This is number 1. 46 technologies researched. Okay, yeah, this guy is already in atomic era. I'm not quite sure which color that is. It's kind of hard to tell, honestly. Probably this guy. What's his color? I can't actually see any of his cities. Yeah, that's the one. He seems to be in the lead. Here's the yellow Inca. Okay, the yellow Inca made contact with almost everyone. Now we can actually see. 46 techs, 42 techs. Look at the spread. I can't see the last unmet player, but the second last has 30 techs and 29 science per turn. That's probably one of the Incas with one single city. And the guy in the lead has 136 science per turn and 46 technologies. They don't seem to be fighting each other. I don't think I saw a single war. But they recruited a lot of units. They are actually sending some ground units across. But I don't think they intend to fight each other. Probably not, no. Well, especially the orange guy. He still only has 2 cities. I don't think he knows how to expand for some reason. And yet the others did a fine job? It's a little bit odd. Like, there's no major difference between this Inca and this Inca. So it's interesting to see that one of them failed to expand and the other has like 10 cities. And this guy has 1 city. 2 of them still have 1 city. Like, he has a settler, he just failed to build any tunnels. Which is weird, because there's a builder standing right here. All he has to do is build a tunnel. And then he can send the settler across. Does not compute, apparently. He doesn't know how to do that. I like how the game is running out of city names. So he's taking city names from other civilizations. Still a lot of space for cities. I am curious how much different this would be if I blocked off the coast with mountains. I might actually try that. You know what? Let's try that. Alright, so here we are again. This is the same exact map, except I blocked all the coast with mountains. And I removed all the lakes. There's literally no way to have a coastal city of any kind. We'll see how much difference this is going to make. So let's get started, shall we? I'm curious to see what the difference is going to be. Or even if there's going to be a difference at all. This is still DT difficulty, by the way, and quick game speed, just to make it go a little bit faster than usual. Okay, one of them is already expanding. This guy. He had to build a tunnel to do that. Unless this is like overflow again, which it might be. This is already quite a few warriors. This is only turn 23. And that's a lot of warriors already. He's fighting some barbarians, good for him. This guy is also expanding, okay. Only 2 of them are not expanding yet. This guy and this guy. But the settler is moving. He should start a city here. Come on now. Start a city, there we go. 1 more. Come on. You're lagging behind. This is a valid location for a city. It wouldn't be a very good city, but it's still a valid location. It would probably starve, because this is too much desert. He needs to go elsewhere. Spoiler alert, he probably won't. Nice catapults, bro. That is quite a few catapults. Except he's not going to war with anyone. Unless he's trying to take the city-state. I'm not totally convinced if the AI is even capable of waging war in a situation like this. They might not be able to. It might be kind of hard to go to war, even as a human player. I mean, sure, you can have tunnels, but if the other AI literally has a unit on every single tile, he will not be able to move through the tunnel. So that's a bit of a problem. Yeah, this guy is still not expanding, but he has an encampment on this side now. That's pretty funny. I don't think he is going to expand. He didn't start a city because this would be a terrible city, even by AI standards. It would literally starve. There's no food over here. But hey, nothing is stopping him from building tunnels and going elsewhere. Okay, here's a third city from this guy. So some of them are expanding just fine, but others not so much. I'm not seeing any tunnels though. Not sure if that's because they are not there, or because they are not showing up right now. Let me switch myself to one of the AIs. So here's the yellow guy. He doesn't seem to have any tunnels. So how exactly did he get here? That has to be some kind of overflow mechanic, where units actually spawn on this side, without the need for tunnels. Because it's impossible to actually get there, and he can't get out. So that is very odd. Yeah, I'm still not seeing tunnels anywhere. And they definitely have the technology for it. I mean, it's literally the second civic you can get in the game. So they definitely have it. This guy just finished education. It's foreign trade. That's literally all you need. You just need foreign trade. I can build it for him. Like, I can build it right now, literally, right here. And there's the tunnel. I'm not really going to, but AI just isn't doing it. For whatever reason. It's clearly very low priority for them. They don't seem to recognize the fact that this map is basically unplayable without the tunnels. So if I played as one of the AIs, I would probably dominate them. I think the tunnel I built is literally the only one on the map right now. Yep, I think it's the only one on the map right now. At least I'm not seeing other tunnels. Oh, did he just build Terracotta Army? Yep, he did, right here. Well, good for him. Here's another tunnel. Come on, build more tunnels. Wait, how did he get here? Yeah, this is like some kind of overflow mechanic, where units actually spawn on the other side of the mountains, when there's not enough space in here. Well, alright then. So now these guys are completely stuck. They will not be able to get out of there ever, because there's no way to disembark anywhere. The entire coast is completely blocked by mountains. He just wasted money or production for these units. He even has a ship. Well, I mean, that can happen because he built a harbor, but that's about it. It's going to be a fairly useless ship. Okay, only one guy is not expanding at all. This one. He built an encampment, and he does have a settler. The settler is just not doing anything. Literally, he's just standing there. I'm still not seeing too many tunnels around here. Yeah, AI definitely doesn't make an actual decision to build tunnels in a way that makes sense. And they have some fairly advanced technology already. They got field cannons. I mean, this is quick speed, so technology will progress fairly rapidly. But they have field cannons and they haven't built any tunnels. I wonder if they will start building tunnels more once they get the technology that would normally unlock tunnels. Which happens way later into the game. The Inca is obviously the only civilization that can build tunnels in ancient era. So let's check the ranking. Let's see, 40 technologies researched, 80 science per turn, okay. So industrial era. There might be a more advanced AI because this guy didn't actually make contact with everyone. That's the green guy, he's not very advanced either. It's kind of hard to tell which one is which. This is the one city AI. I could help him out a little bit. Yeah, there's no tunnel here. So this settler literally just spawned on this side and that's that. He does have a builder, so I mean, I can build a tunnel for him. This is the first tunnel this guy built. On turn 207. So yeah, there you go. Oh, right, he did enter escort formation. I wonder if that actually kind of blocks his movement. Possibly. Because when he has a military unit on every single tile, but a settler is in escort formation, he will not be able to enter the other tiles unless he exits the escort formation. I wonder if that actually kind of breaks the AI logic. It might. I think that is actually what's happening, at least partially. I see a tank already. Okay. So they basically got to industrial and maybe modern era without getting more than 2 cities. Maybe 3 cities on this guy. But a lot of the map is not settled. I think it's pretty obvious AI simply cannot handle this kind of situation. Even as the Inca. And at least one of them probably has the technology that would normally unlock tunnels, but they are still not building them. They just don't recognize the fact they need tunnels to be able to move around. So there you go. That's been an interesting experiment. And it's pretty obvious they won't even go to war, because they can't even get to each other reliably. They would likely be slightly more competent if I was actually playing this game, or a human player in general. Because then the human player builds actual tunnels that make sense, and AI can then use those tunnels. Because any tunnel can be used by anyone. But since I'm not playing myself, that's not happening. So AI ends up being really confused about life. Look at the science output. It's really bad. It's really bad. Culture is even worse. 12 culture, 15 culture, 16 culture, that's really bad. And look at the difference in military strength. This guy has almost 3000 military strength. I'm not quite sure which one that is. It's kind of hard to tell which one is which. I think that's player number 1. Or is it? No, it is not. Or maybe player number 6. Like the last one. Yep, that's player number 6. That's the one. Yeah, he has 2700 military strength because he has tanks and shit. What's his technology? He's in atomic era. So I think it's safe to say he's probably going to win the game eventually. By getting the spaceship project. I'm not actually going to wait for that to happen because that will take a while. His science output is still terrible. But he's in atomic era because this is quick speed. What was his actual tech count? Let's check. He has 51 technologies, okay. What did he skip? How much did he skip? He skipped sanitation, okay. So he doesn't actually have research labs yet. And he didn't unlock aluminum. Or uranium. But he has advanced ballistics. Not that he's going to use it. I was hoping for someone to go to war, but that's definitely not happening. I like how they are building completely useless ships. They definitely do not recognize the fact that they will be absolutely useless. Especially ironclads, so melee ships. They literally can't do anything, other than fight other useless ships. Well, anyway, this has been a pretty interesting experiment. I think we managed to break the AI. Let me know what else you would like me to do to break the AI even more. I think we could break it even more than this. Regardless, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed this experiment. Leave a like if you did, or a dislike if you didn't, and subscribe for more videos just like this one. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.